Hello everyone, I'm here to summarize and analyze the chapters 5 and 6 of the famous novel Gulliver's Travels, written by Jonathan Swift. Hope you all know this novel, and I'll be starting with the summary of the 5th chapter. Gulliver saves Lilliput from the Blefuscudian invasion by dragging the Blefuscudian ships to Lilliput. In gratitude, the Lilliputian emperor rewards Gulliver with the title Nardak. Gulliver is pleased with his new title, but he is not the emperor's dupe. He rejects a plan to destroy Blefuscu completely and argues for a reasonable peace treaty. Gulliver's moderation in dealing with the Blefuscudians gives Flimnap and Skyresh Bolgolam a chance to slander him. The emperor listens to the accusations and is cold to Gulliver when he grants him permission to visit Blefuscu in the future. Later, a fire in the palace breaks out and Gulliver puts out the fire by urinating on it. There is a law against anyone passing water in the royal palace, however, and the empress is so horrified by Gulliver's firefighting techniques that she never forgives Gulliver. The emperor softens, though, and promises Gulliver a pardon for his crime. That's the end of the summary of 5th chapter, and we'll move on to its analysis. Here, Swift satirizes the War of the Spanish Succession. The Whigs had conducted a war against the Roman Catholic leaders of France and Spain. Although it had its religious overtones, the war also involved trading rights with colonies in America. The Tories, led by Harley and Bolingbroke, were willing to make a reasonable peace with French. The result was the peace treaty signed at Utrecht in 1713. The naval policy, they said, destroyed the fleet. The Whigs were unsatisfied. They maintained that it was Marlborough's infantry campaigns on the continent that had brought peace. Moreover, after the peace treaty was signed, the Whigs accused the Tories of treason because of the failure to get colonies and ports from France and Spain. The firefighting episode may refer to Swift's Tale of a Tub, which he wrote to defend the Church of England against his friend's suggestion that he had made a dean or bishop in England. That's the end of the 5th chapter. Now we'll move on to the summary of chapter 6. Gulliver describes the general customs and practices of Lilliput in more detail by beginning by explaining that everything in Lilliput, their animals, trees, and plants, is sized in proportion to the Lilliputians. Their eyesight is also adapted to their scale. Gulliver cannot see as clearly close up as they can, while they cannot see as far as he can. The Lilliputians are well educated, but their writing system is owed to Gulliver, who jokes that they write not left to right like the Europeans or top to bottom like the Chinese, but from one corner of the page to other like the lays in England. The dead are buried with their heads pointing directly downward because the Lilliputians believe that eventually the dead will rise again, and the better educated Lilliputians no longer believe in this custom. Gulliver describes some of the other laws of Lilliput, such as a tradition by which anyone who falsely accuses someone else of a crime against the state is put to death. Deceit is considered worse than theft because honest people are more vulnerable to liars than to thieves, since commerce requires people to trust one another. The law provides not only for punishment but also for rewards of special titles and privileges for good behavior. Children are not raised by individual parents but by the kingdom as a whole. They are sent to live in schools at a very young age. The schools are chosen according to the station of their parents, whom they see only twice a year. Only the laborers' children stay at home, since their job is to farm. There are no beggars at all, since the poor and well looked after. And that's the end of the summary of the 6th chapter. Now we will move on with its analysis. Swift uses Gulliver's report to the Lilliputian laws and customs to illustrate a semi-utopian society. He drew from such a political theorist as Plato in the Republic and from More in his Utopia, and he also used many of the suggestions of the political reformers and pamphleteers of his own day. His proposals were aimed at creating and enforcing moral virtue in the citizens. Flimnap's charges against Gulliver's parallel those made against Bishop Atterbury, a Jacobite who tried treason in 1723. It is thought that the suspicions concerning Gulliver and Flimnap's wife refer to Walpole. Rumours about Walpole's first wife, Catherine Shorter, had accused her of misconduct, but Walpole displayed no concern. Flimnap is dishonoured by his jealousy and Walpole by his complacency. If critics are about this parallel, Swift is unfair. He damns Walpole if he does or if he doesn't object. Also, of course, Swift is pointing out the absurdity of rash accusations made by politicians. Here, Gulliver is so much larger than the lady that she could not possibly have been faithful. That's the end. Hope you all have understood. Thank you.